as this destruction was so near, and as it would be so effectual an argument against the observance of the Mosaic rites, the great head of the church did not suffer the question of their obligation to be needlessly agitated among the disciples at Jerusalem. Vultureheb. Ra middle cham. Ra middle chamar, black vultureheb. Os middle ni middle ya. A large carrion-eating bird that renders a very valuable service in lands of warm climate, consuming the dead carcasses and putrefying flesh that might otherwise cause disease. This bird is listed among those declared unclean in the Mosaic law. La 11. 13, 18. La 14. 12, 17. In Arabic, a language that is cognate with Hebrew, a word similar to Ra middle cham designates the Egyptian vulture Neophron percnopterus, often called Pharaoh's chicken. This bird is white except for its black wings and yellow bill and legs. It is the smallest of the vultures found in Bible lands, being about 65 centimeters 26 inches in length. With its bare wrinkled face, large eyes, hooked beak, and curved talons, it is quite repulsive in appearance. Because of its willingness to eat refuse disdain textoi acute muritra longo 1165 wages. See higher, wages. Wagon. The wagon or cart of ancient times was a simple vehicle, usually wooden, having spoked or solid wheels. 1-6. 14 Some were little more than two-wheeled open platforms fitted with a horizontal tongue or pole in front. Others had sides, and some were covered, such as the 6 covered wagons drawn by 2 bulls each used to transport tabernacle articles. New 7. 2-9 The coaches of Revelation 18. The 13th of May denote four-wheeled wagons or carriages. In Israel, especially in earlier times, the wagon was usually drawn by cattle rather than horses, the latter being used especially for chariots and in warfare. 2-6. 3, 6. 15. 1. 1ch 13. 7, 9. PR 21. 31 wagons were employed to transport persons GE 45. 19, 21, 27. 46. 5, grain, and other loads. 1-6. 7-14. And 2. 13 those used in warfare as mentioned at PS 46. 9 may have been military baggage wagons. In the time of Isaiah, when the Israelites had many horses Issa 2. 7, wagons pulled by horses were used in threshing. Issa 28. 27, 28. The prophet Isaiah pronounced woe upon persons drawing sinners with wagon cords, possibly indicating that such individuals were attached to sin just as animals were tied with cords to wagons they pulled. Issa 5. 18. Walls. Masonry structures that serve as barriers, mark boundaries, or form enclosures. As long as man has been constructing houses and cities, he has been building walls out of many materials, in a variety of designs, to serve a number of purposes. The size and strength of structures largely depend on the construction of the walls and the materials used in making them. The walls of David's palace were of cut stone. 2-5. 11 Similarly, the outside walls of Solomon's temple, it appears, were of quarried stone, with some of their interior surfaces covered over with cedar boards. 1-6. 2, 7, 15 These interior wooden panels, in turn, were elaborately decorated with carvings and overlays of gold. 1-6. 29. 1ch 29. 4. 2ch 3. 4, 7 The interior wall surfaces of Belshazzar's palace were plastered. 5. 5 The walls of the homes of the people in general were usually of simple construction. Sun-dried bricks, uncut stones, or plastered material over a wooden framework. Sometimes the surface was whitewashed. Act 23. 3. City walls. In ancient times fear caused people to erect protective walls around large cities to prevent enemy invasion. 1-4. 13. Issa 25. 12 The inhabitants of the small dependent towns round about New 21. 25 likewise took refuge within the walled city if attacked. The Mosaic law made a legal distinction between walled and unwalled towns, as to the rights of house owners. Law 25. 29-31 The walls not only provided a physical barrier between city residences and an enemy, but also afforded an elevated position atop which the defenders could protect the walls from being undermined, tunneled through, or breached by battering rams. 2 Sir 11. 20-24. 20. 15. PS 55. 10. K 5. 7. ISA 62. 6. ES 4. 1, 2. 26. 9 As a countermeasure, attacking forces sometimes threw up siege walls as shields behind which to assault the city walls. 2 Chi 25. 1. J 52. 4. ES 4. 2, 3. 21. 22. See fortifications. Other walls. Stone walls were often built to hedge in vineyards or fields, and to form corrals or sheep pens. New 22. 23-25. PR 24. 30, 31. ISA 5. 5. MIC 2. 12. HAB 3. 17 And there were also walls that served for embankment purposes along terraced hillsides. Job 24. 11 These walls were of a fairly permanent nature, built of undressed fieldstones and sometimes set in clay or mortar. Symbolic walls. In the scriptures, walls are sometimes mentioned in a figurative way as pictorial of protection and safety. 1 Sir 25. 16. PI 18. 11. 25. 28 Or as a symbol of separation. GE 49. 22. S 13. 10 In this latter sense Paul wrote the Ephesians. For he Christ is our peace, he who made the two parties one and destroyed the wall in between that fenced them off. F2. 14 O texto e acute miritra longo, war 1166 J 1. 18, 19. 15. 20 In another illustration, God's people, though dwelling as in a city without literal walls, therefore seemingly defenseless, enjoy peace and security, because of God's invisible help. S 38. 11 Or from another point of view, a strong city would be one having Jehovah as a wall of fire. Zech 2. 4, 5, or having walls of salvation set up by Jehovah, rather than ones of mere stone and brick. ISA 26. 1 The holy city, New Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven, is said to have a great and lofty wall of jasper, the height of which is 144 cubits 64 meters, 210 feet, and it is said to have 12 foundation stones consisting of precious jewels engraved with the names of the 12 apostles. Re 21. 2, 12, 14, 17-19. War. A state of hostility accompanied by actions designed to subjugate or to destroy those viewed as the enemy. A number of Hebrew words involve waging war. One of these, from the verb root rave, means basically come near, that is, to fight. The Greek noun polemos means war. And the verb to is from a root that refers to an encamped army. The Bible says that Nimrod went forth into Assyria, which was evidently an act of aggression, into the territory of Ashur the son of Shem. There Nimrod built cities. GE 10. 11 In Abraham's state Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, subjected a number of cities all apparently around the southern end of the Dead Sea for a period of 12 years, forcing them to serve him. After they rebelled, Chedorlaomer and his allies warred against them, vanquishing the forces of Sodom and Gomorrah, taking their possessions, and capturing Abraham's nephew Lot and his household. At that Abraham mustered 318 trained servants and, together with his 3 confederates, pursued Chedorlaomer and recovered the captives and the plunder. However, Abraham did not take any of the booty for himself. This is the first record of a war waged by a servant of God. Abraham's warring to recover his fellow servant of Jehovah had Jehovah's approval, for, on Abraham's return, he was blessed by Melchizedek, priest of the Most High God. GE 14. 1-24. God ordained warfare. Jehovah is a manly person of war, the God of armies, and mighty in battle. Acts 15. 3. 2 Sa 5. 10. PS 24. 8, 10. Isra 42. 13. Not only has he the right as creator and supreme sovereign of the universe, but he is also obligated by justice to execute or authorize execution of the lawless, to war against all obstinate ones who refuse to obey his righteous laws. Jehovah was therefore just in wiping out the wicked at the time of the flood, in destroying Sodom and Gomorrah, and in bringing destruction upon Pharaoh's forces. GE 6. 5-7, 13, 17. 19. 24. Acts 15. 4, 5. Compare to PE 2. 5-10. Jude 7. Israel used as God's executioner. Jehovah assigned the Israelites the sacred duty of serving as his executioners in the promised land to which he brought them. Prior to Israel's deliverance from Egypt, the nation had not known warfare. Acts 13. 17. By victoriously directing Israel against 7 nations more populous and mighty than they were, God magnified his name as Jehovah of armies, the God of the battle lines of Israel. This proved that neither with sword nor with spear does Jehovah save, because to Jehovah belongs the battle. De 7. 1. 1 Sa 17. 45, 47. Compare 2 Ch 13. 12. It also gave the Israelites the opportunity to demonstrate obedience to God's commandments to the point of endangering their lives in God-ordained warfare. De 20. 1-4. No aggression beyond the God-given limits. However, God strictly commanded Israel that they were not to engage in wars of aggression or conquest.